Hey everyone, what's up? I hope you guys have been doing well. Today I am gonna show you guys like my typical green eye look. It's actually been a while since I've done this, so I'm like gonna need to freshen up my memory a bit. But yeah, basically we're just gonna get into it. Also, look at how cute this mug is, okay? This is from my friend Sarah's company called Hotel Ceramics, and it is just like the work that she puts into her pieces. I am just such a big fan. So definitely go check her out. I'll have her website linked down below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna begin with the Milani PREP+BRIGHTEN Rose Face Oil. This product is pretty fragranced, so if you're sensitive to that, I would, you know, be a little cautious. Okay, so I have two foundations. Well, one's a foundation and one's a tinted moisturizer. I have the one I like always use, which is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, but I've been trying to like test out this ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer. I feel like some days it looks really good and other days it just is like, what is that? I think I'm gonna try it out. So I think what I'll do is just put on like a light layer of this and then go in a bit heavier with some concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. The one thing I will say about this concealer is that the scent is it's a no for me. Mine is definitely a bit more pink than I would typically go for. This is in the shade C7. So I do want to see if I can maybe grab another one. I usually only set the areas where I put concealer with a translucent powder. Over the years, I've definitely started like using less and less powder. So I'm taking the ALAMAR Cosmetics Trio and using, honestly, probably like all the shades in here. So I do this like every once in a while where I use a fan brush for bronzer, or sometimes I'll use it for blush. And yeah, I started doing this again and kind of like fell back in love with how this just like made my skin look. Also just like easier if you do want to chisel out your cheekbones to do it with this little fan brush or any fan brush. I still do my nose, like bronzing and contour stuff, pretty sloppy, but I'm kind of just like switching up brushes. All right, let's add a little translucent powder. This is the Wet n Wild MEGAGLOW highlighting powder in Golden Flower Crown. Just a really pretty like champagne color. The fuck. So usually I take my highlight like right here, but I've been kind of trying to do this more like in this section. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush in Keep It Peachy. I prefer blushes that I can build up as opposed to getting them like super pigmented right then and there. Now what I'm gonna do is breathe. I'm gonna use the HD pressed powder from LA Girl. It looks like that. Yeah, I don't know about this powder because I had originally gotten it to like set my under eyes, but then it just looked like far too mustardy on my skin tone, which is interesting because like in here it looks like it's gonna be really pretty, but as soon as I put it on my under eyes, it like you can see there's just some discoloration. But what I have been using this for is for what I'm about to show you. So basically you want to get something like a fluffy brush. Usually I use this one, but I have no idea where it's from. But it's just a bit fluffier. It's not too densely packed. But I'll use this one today. This is the e.l.f. highlighting brush. So I just take a little bit of powder, pack it on, tap off, and then I'm gonna lightly go over mainly like the edges of the bronzer and highlight. just so it gives a bit more of a seamless blend as opposed to being like bronzer, highlight, blush. Let's spray my face a bit. Yeah, dude, this LA Girl setting spray smells like coconut, but it doesn't say it has any coconut in it. I just want to place like a little bit of powder right under my eyes. Today I'll be working out of the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. Just like this in itself is stunning. Yeah, I'm kind of going to be dipping into like both sides. This palette is a bit on the pricier side, so don't feel like you need to get this. I know that like e.l.f. has a bite-size eyeshadow and it has a lot of the similar green tones in here, so you can definitely recreate it with something like that. Going into the first shade, Luna. And let's put this in the crease. I'm gonna do more of a rounded shape today, but do whatever suits you. So now I'm gonna dip into Lorelei. So for this, I'm taking it on the outer corner and then dragging it into my crease. And still going in that whole like C shape. I'm gonna dip into the shade Fire OG and Leo and take that on the outer corner. So I'm starting out by patting it down. That way I can get that color on there first and then go ahead and blend it out and move it around to the areas I would like. Dipping into Mochi and using that to blend out those green shades that we placed. I went back into those green shades and started to lightly feather it in towards the center of the lid. Okay, I don't really think this is like much of a rounded shape. My bad. Now I'm taking the shade Mochi and adding that into the inner corner of my eyes. Alright, then going into the shade Goals, which is, this is gonna go on the center of the lid. I'm not being strategic at all with this shade. I'm really just placing it down and having it kind of like, you know. I'm gonna dust away this powder underneath my eyes. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go ahead and use the same highlight that I used on my face. Taking Fire OG and adding that real close to the lash line, and then blending it out with the shade Lorelei. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara and eyeliner off camera, and then we can come back and I'll show you just a little something new that I've been doing with my brows. Typical me, I didn't really glue my lashes on that well. I really have only just like introduced one new product into my brow routine. So as usual, I'm just taking my LA Girl brow pencil and lightly just building up the shape of my brows. And I don't usually mention this in videos, but I do always have it listed in the description box. But prior to doing any makeup, I will always lay down my brows with SUAVECITO pomade because I find that it just does a really nice job of keeping my brow hairs up and looking more like feathery. Now taking the NYX Lipton Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I have mine in the shade Black. I literally have like all my eyebrow products in the shade Black. So I have never used a brow pen before. This is the only one I've tried, so I can't compare it to anything else, but yeah, it does something for my brows. I just lightly begin flicking it in. I have used this by itself and it works, but I don't know, it's a bit easier for me to use once I already have like some type of guidance with that brow pencil. Then I take the SUAVECITA brow gel and mainly run that through the front of my brows. just in case. Like, I really only do this if I have powder that kind of got in my brows. Am I gonna do this for my lips? I don't know. This probably doesn't match, but I'm gonna do it. So this is the LA Girl Intense Ultimate Liner in Nonstop Nude. And then adding some of the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. Just right to the center. Okay, and this is the final look. Stuff all over my hand. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Please take care of yourselves and remember to prioritize your mental health as well. It's very important. And we'll see you guys in the next video. It's like, does the coffee taste better too? Oh, my foot is asleep. Ooh. God, I have like loose powder in my hair. Like, it matches. Hotel. Oh my god. Oh god. Thank god there wasn't much coffee. It would have been